Hello and welcome everybody, it's Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage and today we're going to be having a look at Ethereum. Before we jump into the price action, I just want to start by saying thank you for watching. If you're enjoying the content, please smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you don't miss any videos, and then leave us some feedback down below as well. In the description below, you'll also find a link to the Discord. Come check it out. It is free to join. Once in the general chat area, just mention member of staff. We'll be happy to help you out with anything you may need. Okay, so let's get into the fun stuff here. So we're still looking at the same possibilities as we talked about previously, that we're looking for evidence of this fourth wave coming in. And what we'd be looking for in this instance was the potential of a flat. We can argue it's completed into this low point here. Alternatively, we could also argue that we potentially have one more leg to the downside here. So within this structure, what I'd be looking for is if we do start to move away from this area and we actually look to move up past the 1604, we can start to argue that we could have a correction completed here. And we could be looking to move up for this fifth wave. And this fifth wave would be looking to potentially target out to this zone here of this 1894 to the 1780 area. We'd also have to be careful though, however, of this previous high point in case we do get some kind of a truncation. What we could be effectively setting up here for is a 1 2 1 2, then we start to get 3 4 5 4 5, and then we could fall short of this target and actually just look to retest this high, or potentially come back into this channel area. This 50% zone might be an interesting area of this channel that we could potentially look to get rejected as well. So we'll have to just see how the waves play out. Like I said, however, there is still potential we could look to push down one more time. And like I said, we are looking at this in the two same ways that we were previously, looking for this evidence either as a fourth wave from this position, in which case the third wave is slightly over here, in which case we'd be looking for this to potentially be an ABC to the downside. So what we'd be looking for here is if we want to count this as a five-wave move, though, then we would be arguing that we're going to get a B wave to the upside and then look for that continuation. So what we'd be looking for effectively then is something like this, where this becomes a B wave and then we actually look to push down one more time. However, we wouldn't really want to lose this 1406 if we're looking at this option. So, what we'd want to do is actually hold this zone and then potentially look to still look for this fifth wave. However, once we start to break down below this 1406 area, it becomes less likely that this is in play, and we could be potentially starting to break down there. And basically within this, if we fail to develop this fourth wave move, all we have is a corrective structure here, which could then indicate that we actually could have another leg to the downside and could actually look to drop down and break these lows here of this $1,075 range. So we'll have to keep an eye on it. First thing we'd be looking for within this, if we do break down lower, is potential to actually find support lower down in this range here. And what I'd be looking for is effectively this 50%, which would be this 1404, all the way sort of down to this 786, would be this 1253. We can see that the 0.618 area would also be an interesting zone if we do push down deeper here. This could be an area we could see some support come in. However, this would also potentially invalidate the potential for this fifth wave, and we'd have to start thinking maybe this is a 1-2-1-2, and then we're looking to break up. Or alternatively, like I said, we've had a three-wave move and we could actually look to break down impulsively. So if we do move back up into this zone, this red box area here, the 1663 to this 1598, there's a couple of areas of interest in here. The 618s up here at this 1625, be a retest of this previous support line that we held here. Alternatively, lower down, we can argue, is this 50% as well. So there's a couple of possibilities, but we're going to have to just give it a bit of space here. So within this, what we could be arguing is I'm going to go over this count first, basically the primary one that I'm looking at. So this is still my primary count. I'm still looking for the potential of this to be a flat correction. Like I said, we could actually have completed, but looking at the subwave structure in two ways, we can argue that we could still have an additional push to the downside. And what this would be looking at is the potential of having this as a wave 1, 2, all of this into this point here as a wave 3, and then effectively looking for the potential of having a flat correction here for this wave 4. So we're right in that wave 4 rejection zone. effectively invalidation would actually come by, let me just move this back here, would come by actually moving above the 1604. If we move above that 1604, it would invalidate this potential of having a flat for the fourth here. But what I'd be looking for within this internal structure of this is basically seeing something like this play out, where we have this play out as a 1, 2, this is a 3. I'd be arguing that this would have been a triangle as an A, B, C, D. It could still have a leg down for an E wave, or alternatively, it's A, B, C, D, E, and then basically we're starting this fifth wave move up here. So this fifth wave move, if it is starting to play out, we would want to hold this low point here of this 1542. Well, actually, it would be higher up here, this 1544. And what we'd want to see is this fifth wave progressing to the upside. And we'd want to see it come into towards this range here of this 1591 to this 1577. So if they're looking at this as a flat, what we would then be looking for is a five-wave structure to the downside. And what we'd want to see is we'd want to see this start to break down from this point in a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, which could look to bring us down into this zone here of this fifth wave box. Depending on how high we go here, it might adjust this. So we'll have to just be aware of that if we do push up higher here, it could push this fifth wave box slightly lower down, so we'll have to adjust it as that happens. Um, if however we do within the structure push down one more time, it could still be that we are within this fourth wave, and what we have here is an A, and actually we're getting a B wave triangle where the triangle is the other way around, where we'd be looking for this potentially as an A, a B, a C. We come back one more time down for a D, then we'd look for an E wave to the upside, and then actually look to break down, and this would be an A, B, C, and that could bring us back into this zone here, this 1535 to this 1525. So if we get the triangle in this position, I'd be looking for this move back down into this zone. The one-to-one would take us pretty much down to this 1525 currently. And what we'd be looking for then is potential that actually we have a fourth wave playing out from over here still. This wouldn't violate anything. Only really by dropping down below this wave one high here at 1510.43, that would invalidate this fifth wave up. But until we actually do that, this is still a possibility. So this is what we're looking for within that flat correction. And that potentially we still have another leg to the downside here. So this is something that could still play out. If we do get this additional leg down, this could actually look to push us down to that 0.382, which would be this 1453.39. So this is still on the cards here until we actually move back above this 1604. Okay, so that's the one way we're looking at the, um, yeah, effectively that's what we're looking at within that. So we can also argue that if we do move up, um, and we're looking at the alternative count, which would be this count, we can argue that potentially within this structure, we could have formed a wave to the downside. So that's what I was saying earlier. We need to just be careful that we don't have something like this where we form this as an A wave, we come back up here for a B, and then we actually look to push down one more time for a C. So if we do complete a five-wave structure here, it is possible that we could look to then retrace down towards this 1521 to this 1487 area as a B wave. And what happens after this would be important. If we come back down, potentially look to come into the zone and retest some of these areas, and then push up to a one-to-one. This could then be setting us up for this B wave. Alternatively, if we do manage to push up higher, and what I'd be looking for effectively, if we were just talking about this potential, would be actually moving back above this 1716 zone. And if we did get a move something like this, what this would then do is set us up for an additional fourth and a fifth wave to the upside, which could then lead us into moving into this target zone of this 1870 to this 1772. So, these are all possibilities, but it depends how we react on these support zones and whether we get any further extension within these waves to the upside or to the downside, which could change how we are looking at the structure. But for the most part, that's what I'm currently looking at. I do think that we are going to complete this as a five-wave structure here. And then it's going to be important to see what happens. If we do start to extend out much higher here, what I would be looking out for is the potential that we could have had an additional 1-2 nestled in here. So if we do actually just start to get quite vertical here and push past the 1656 zone, what I would then be looking at is the potential that actually what we've had is a 1-2. This is a 1-2 again. And then actually, basically, this is a third. We get a fourth. We get a fifth to the upside, and then we'd get an additional fourth and a fifth. So, this is something that can also play out if we start to extend up here. There's nothing indicating it at the moment, and I do think it's more likely that we have this as a triangle and we're actually going to push up for this fifth, and then we'd be looking for that retracement or whether we actually break down deeper. Um, it is also possible that we could do the same thing and count this as a flat in this situation where this just becomes an A, B, and then we drop down for a C. So we're going to have to monitor the structure on the way down here and see exactly how this plays out, because if we do manage to hold that support zone that we talked about within this count, so this 1406 is really the lowest we want to go with this within this structure. So, we can argue that if we did get this as a flat, as a connector wave in the middle here, we could look at this potentially as a just as a three-wave move as well. So, we could look for 1-to-1 would be actually this 1377. So depending on how high this comes, the higher this comes, effectively the closer this becomes towards that 50%. So if we do push up towards like the 618 area, effectively that would put us above this 1406 zone again. So we're going to have to just monitor this move. Like I said, we can potentially either count this as an A into here, this potentially as beginning to be a B, possibly as a zigzag, and then breaking down for a C, or alternatively, we complete into this zone and effectively we are looking to move up. So we'll keep you up to date as we get more information. And yeah, I think I'm going to leave the video there. Okay, I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video. Why not leave us some feedback down below in the comment section? Also in the description, you'll find a link to the Discord. Come check it out. It is free to join. Once you're in the general chat area, just mention a member of staff. We'll be happy to help you out with anything you may need. Also in the description, you'll find a link to affiliate links for both PrimeXBT and BYBIT, both great exchanges that we use on a regular basis. Check them out. If you don't have an account with them, using the affiliate link does help support the channel, and we do appreciate it. Everyone, I hope you have a great day, and we'll see you in the next. Take care.